So we're going to go ahead and make a photo collage with Pixlr. Purpose of this is for people to learn how to use layers, different selection tools, resizing, adjustment options, and other kind of items that we'll go through. So we're going to go to the Pixlr editor, and I am going to make my canvas 800 by 600 pixels. So create new, and 800 by 600. Again, if you don't like the size of the canvas, you can always change this later by going to image and canvas size. So I typically have my students go online and copy and paste pictures in. I'm going to go ahead and make a photo collage of my dog so that I don't violate any copyright. So I'm going to take this picture, I'm going to copy image, and I'm going to go back to Pixlr, and I am just simply going to paste this in. So I'm going to go ahead. There's a few things that you can do. The first thing is that you can use the eraser. With that, up here you have your tool options, so you can adjust the size of the brush and then the softness of the brush. They say that with the eraser, if you kind of want to blur it a little bit, you can, but really I can there's a blur tool for that might work better. So let's go. I typically like to cleanly cut out my images. So I'm going to take my eraser. I think I'm going to leave this part of the wall. I don't know why. I find this picture amusing of him just licking the wall like a weirdo. So from here on out, I can hit Control plus or Control minus on my keyboard to zoom in and out. So while I do this, I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I cut this picture out. So I have properly cut out the picture of my dog. Right here you have blur, sharpen, and smudge. So when you click on that, you have three options. If you wanted to, you can kind of blur that. You can adjust the brush, the strength, all of that if you want to. Sharpen your image. Smudge really smears it. But those are just some options if you wanted to do that. I am not going to do that for this. So I'm going to zoom back out by hitting Control minus, and I am going to place this picture in the corner. So let's screen. And we'll put this picture here. All right, so I'm going to grab another picture of my thing. I'm going to just copy my image, and I'm going to paste this picture of my dog acting like he has a job in here, like he actually works and refuses to get out of bed. Edit, paste. Fun stuff. Let's try that again. Copy. I'm going to hit Control V this time. That works a little better. Again, I'm going to take my eraser, and I am going to go through this, and I am going to erase the outline of this, and I'm going to go ahead and pause. I do want to note, a tool I do go over with my students is this wand tool. I can't remember what they call it in this program. Just wand select. Okay, so if I click on that, I can click on this background here. This tool doesn't always work perfectly. You do, like, so for this one, I probably should adjust the tolerance to make it select less of whatever color, but it's a select tool that selects basically based on color, and adjusting the tolerance will let you pick like more pixels of a similar color or less. Control D will deselect if you needed to do that. So let's try that again. So that I can just hit delete on my keyboard and Control D, and it is pretty cut out. I can go back and clean all that up, but the rest of it I'm probably going to have to use my paintbrush for. I actually think I'm going to leave this image pretty much as it is. Stick him in the corner there. Same thing, I'm going to go get my image, copy it, and I'm going to hit Control V to paste it in. I'm going to go ahead and resize this. This thing is gigantic. Just so that you know, when you resize an image, you have fixed and free. So fixed will keep it in proportion, but if you hit free, you can drag it out of proportion if you wanted to do that. So I am going to take my eraser and cut this out though. Okay, so I have my picture here. One thing that you're going to have to start doing is start arranging the picture. So as you can see, the image that is on top over here on this layer panel is the one that is in front. So you might need to start rearranging them to get them to fit the way that you want them to fit. I'm going to go ahead and finish this and start adding more pictures to it. And once I get to that point, I will come back. So this is where I think I'm going to stop with the images of the collage. So a couple options here. First off, again, if you wanted to, right here you have blur, sharpen, or smudge that you can use if you want to kind of smooth some of the harsh edges out. You can also utilize the filters and adjustments we went over in the last one. So if I wanted to, for example, I think this was the first one that I did, adjustment. Let's see here. So if some of your pictures are too dark, maybe you want to brighten them a little bit. You could go through your images and do that. Or you could just have fun and put all kinds of fun different effects on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to this layer 1 and I'm going to put a background on this. So again, layer 1. I will say as you go, just to note, this right here, these little eyeballs, will hide your layer. So if you're having trouble when you're arranging these pictures, you can always hide the layer to make it easier to edit. So you can use your paint bucket if you wanted to just maybe do a solid color background. Or if you wanted, you have the gradients right here where if you click on this, you can customize any of these. However, you can pick one if you would like to use. So let's I'm just gonna go with that one. So I'm gonna put a nice gradient on that. Also add a border to this if you wanted to. So I'm just gonna create an empty layer and I'm gonna throw it on top of the stack here. So if I were to take this marquee select and make a selection, maybe like that, I can go to select and I can invert my selection. And I'm gonna go find a good color for this. I think I'm just gonna use what I have. Let's darken it. Okay, I can take my paint bucket and I can paint to make a little border. You could take it a step further and you could keep like, I don't know, make another border to give it more of a, I don't know, just a better look, but you don't have to do that. So Control D will deselect it. And there we have our photo collage. I think I'm gonna add some text to this quickly. I'm gonna add a text layer. I do like the fill being white. That's an interesting font. And there you have it. Again, if you want to save it to your device, just file and save. Or you could export your image if you wanted to. Otherwise, it will autosave. Thanks.